What will we understand by untangling the knot, Professor Chenal?
The name says it all, untying a knot. Like when you tie a string into a knot and try to open it, something gets knotted and stays like that. A knot is something particularly in our throat, things we want to say but are afraid to. Even things left back in childhood. Those people constantly cough like there's something in their throat and they try to clear it. These people usually have issues, problems in the throat, like pharyngitis, these hormones in the throat.
GOPD and such, thyroid, things like that?
Thyroid, yes. People with problems expressing their love or anger. It could be either. Now, sometimes, for example, a child cannot express their love. It just came to my mind. What could it be? The parents are constantly fighting and arguing. Let's say the mother constantly criticizes the father.
Trying to explain to the child that the person is bad, or the opposite.
The father constantly criticizes the mother. The father wants the child to take his side. However, the child wants to love both and needs the love of both. What does the child do? Swallows it. Swallows the love felt for the mother, or whoever the father is bad-mouthing.
These causes are not in the throat or anger.
A parent who disrespects, scolds, criticizes, or belittles them, whether it's the mother or father, they're there. The child cannot express this because they are dependent on them. They need their protection, care, and love. Let's say they swallowed it. This time, a kind of programming forms. If you express your true feelings, you will be alone. A programming form that says, no one will love you. The person is now grown up. They reach their 30s or 40s, they marry someone, that person turns out to be just like the mother or father, and they stay silent. They always keep it inside.
Oh.
What is there actually? A knot. We find what it wants to say and make it say it to untie the knot.
Oh, do they find it, teacher?
Of course. I mean, we find it together.
The person might not even realize it, right? They don't even know, for example. People even forget what they experienced in their childhood.
He forgets. It's like this because he's afraid of remembering what he forgot. It's there because it's stored in the archive. For example, in this training, alongside knot resolution, this also comes to light in the ego release we will do. In ego release, we give commands for the resolution of traumas. How did we use to do these before? In hypnosis or regression, we would find them one by one, like
like pulling with tweezers?
Like picking out the black stones from the rice. However, the subconscious is such an amazing thing that if you can give the right command, you can instruct it to find and resolve, discharge and neutralize traumas. But of course, there are things that need to be done when giving that command. I mean, it definitely needs to be learned. And what does it do? It is discharged in the person. But at that moment, it's necessary to observe the person. It's important to know this. This training, as I always say, I don't just provide the training. Then I check, for example, to the people I trained before, twice a year, for instance, like when I came to the Awakening Fest in Ankara, I gathered some of them. Twice a year, I say, you have to come. I both work with them for their purification and check how well they have learned the technique.
I was very surprised by this too. Like in the training we did before, you wanted to meet everyone face to face. You wanted to check. You wanted to look. There were doctors among them. They talked about what they applied to their patients there. Yes, we were very pleased. They couldn't believe the results. Here again at the end of this training.
There are professors.
There were professors at the face-to-face meeting.
It was in Ankara.
Well, now, at the end of this training, you say there will definitely be an invitation for a face-to-face meeting twice a year.
Exactly.
You will see.
I took a training, I learned. No, it's not like saying goodbye and that's it. For example, do pilots renew this training once a year? There is a physiotherapist I recently met. The instructor, gives training to physiotherapists. He also calls them for training once a year, making it mandatory. He says, for example, it could be like this. He says, now that he started making money, he thinks he knows everything, that he's learned it all. So, there is new information. Oh, and also this. I realize that I update all the information from my training once a month. I progress by making new additions. So, how like a knife? In the Pasar Shida, our sharpeners used to roam around neighborhoods. They would turn a stone or something with their feet and sharpen knives, and we used to watch them as children. It needs to be sharpened. Knowledge needs to be remembered. Additions need to be made. Why am I doing this? First, so they don't cause harm. Then, so that my training sessions are not compromised.
An incredible sensitivity.
I do it to preserve and protect the brand, the name.
Amazing. You also limit the number of classes, because participation is high. There are many who want to participate, but you want to control and oversee everyone there. So let me give the details for those who want to join. We will continue to discuss in detail, but it will last for 5 weeks, friends. It starts on Wednesday evening, April 30th. Will we provide the recordings broadcast online via Zoom, Mihokam? Will they participate live? If they miss the lesson, watch the recordings.
We will also provide the recordings. It will be live as well.
It will also be online live. It will be online for 5 weeks. Then there will be a face-to-face meeting. Let me quickly check the content. There are the basic principles of quantum thinking technique, the distinction between belief, emotion, and thought, the parts and functions of the brain, kinesiology, which is actually your testing method. Did it work or not? Did it work or not?
Of course, you might say something to Şenol Hoca, friends. I now say I think so, because it might not turn out that way in the test. I think so. He says, I think so. Isn't it very clever? But I really think so. It's just a supposition.
But he says the truth in reverse. Negative core beliefs, the projections of beliefs, cellular memories, emotional blockages and resolutions. Where do the knots in the body mostly form? Sentence repetitions and body language observation are part of the training content. But actually, here is the essence of your years. It has become a core thing. It's necessary to add ego release there.
Let's talk now. Ego release.
What is the ego? Let's talk about it. Now we will come to the ego, but teacher, you mentioned 3 places for knots in untying them, right? We mentioned the throat. It started with the throat. Let's mention it briefly. Let's move on to the ego now. Let's continue with the abdomen. In the abdomen, there is also the issue of not being able to digest.
In those who cannot digest, there is a trio of reflux, gastritis, and ulcers. So what is it?
Oh, this shouldn't have happened. He cheated. He shouldn't have cheated on me. It's something that happened. No, it shouldn't have.
We can't turn back time to make it happen and come to today. I mean, it happened. Like a strange childish stubbornness, like a goat. When you think like this, the death of your loved ones. For example, it happened to you. Of course, if we had done an arm test on you at that time, my father shouldn't have died. Look, if we use this exact sentence, your arm would have been strong. I talked to him 2 hours ago, my patient. He was very well. There was nothing wrong.
I should have been by your side. I have my feelings. Why did you leave me alone?
Yeah, he was very young. Do you still think that way? Let me see. My dad shouldn't have died. Yes. Do I still think that way? Oh, we solved so many things that needed to be resolved together in the meantime.
On this journey, you know what happens as we resolve things, as we purify? What happens to you? You become lighter. You become completely clean. The pains in your body, those things, they go away. You're always cheerful, fluttering like a butterfly, such a lively type. And some people say, oh, teacher, whatever I touch withers, Well, the opposite happens. Whatever you touch flourishes. Is there any better news than this? Isn't it worth the effort? Oh, thank goodness, really. Whatever you touch, you make it flourish. Let the camera capture me. See me after this training.
Look, I'm also untying the knots. With God's permission, my Lord. But I always believe in this.
They say a doctor comes to the foot of the patient who will recover. That's why the times you conduct training or broadcasts are very positive for me. I mean, at times when I need it. Absolutely, absolutely. It has an aspect that looks at all of us.
So, did you say in the chest or in the chest? In the heart, in the heart. Now we mentioned the stomach that way. In the heart, there is also a sense of hurt.
Being hurt by someone. But in all 3, there's an inability to express it. There's an inability to accept it, like not being able to accept something in the stomach. It happened, it's over, done. Yes, I feel this. I said it, I couldn't say it. In the heart, I can't say I'm very hurt by you, I'm angry with you, I'm furious with you. These always happen with our close ones. And what do they do after a while with this feeling of hurt? Well, heart surgeries with stents, and those people have a slight expression on their necks. They have a somewhat bitter facial expression. Oh well, and so on. There's weariness in their voices. Let's go, let's have fun over there. Oh, never mind. Or let's go to the mage. You know what that is? They think they'll be hurt again. Do you know what being hurt is? What is it? You rush to something with enthusiasm. Yes? They hit your hand, slapped you. They deceived you. Let me give an example. They took you, couldn't bring you back. How?
A joke came to mind. I understand. Now a client of mine is with me. His father really wanted a bicycle for him.
He got the bicycle. The bicycle is just sitting there, he says. I can't use it. He says, oh, why? It should stay there for a while. Look at that.
You see, I'm a wealthy man now, but we used to be poor. We sold our land here, built big buildings and made money. But you need to know what poverty is.
That's why the bicycle will stay there. You won't be able to ride it. Oh my, you need to wait a bit or something.
The child is breaking down. It's like torture. He says, why is my dad tormenting me like this? And so on.
For example, guests have come and in front of everyone, the child spilled water on the floor or something, broke a glass or something.
His father gets tense and slaps him in front of everyone. The child is crushed. To be unexpectedly subjected to something, an injustice, an attack by someone he loves. I call them enthusiasm breakers. Enthusiasm breakers. There are those types who break enthusiasm.
You know what they are? They are people whose spirits were broken before.
My enthusiasm was broken. Yours should be broken too. His should be broken too.
And when enthusiasm starts to rise from within, they panic. Let's say they have a child. The child's enthusiasm scares them. They think they will experience the same problem from someone else. Let me break their enthusiasm. After all, someone outside will break their enthusiasm. Let me get them used to it. Now, look, there's no ill intent. There is good intention. But when the heart is broken, I was going to such a family thing. I was going to therapy at first. I was doing it at home. Were you doing it as a family? I was doing it as a family.
Father, mother, my daughters.
The woman is constantly trying to drag them somewhere, trying to take them on a trip. The man keeps saying, okay, let's go. Fine, okay, sure. The man has had heart surgery. He has a stent in his heart. Do you know why? Why? His mother passes away when he is 2 years old. No, sorry. His mother dies while giving birth to him. Here, all three are actually broken. Why did my mother die? She shouldn't have.
It happened because of me.
After that. And resentment. Why did my mother abandon me? Because the child perceives it like this. Doesn't perceive it as my mother died, but perceives it as my mother left me. The feeling of abandonment. The same thing happens with people who feel fear about loving something. You loved someone.
He cheated on you or he treated you very badly.
You swear like this, it happens automatically. Your subconscious decides this. It has nothing to do with you. You need to know this very well. You will investigate what your subconscious has decided. It says, I will never love anyone again. Logically, think like this. I loved. And this is what I got in return. So what will we do, brother? We won't love anyone. Boom. Programming. Then they become part of the group I call stone-hearted. Those who fear love, stone-hearted.
Stone-hearted.
Someone once told me, oh teacher, I was insisting, why don't I have a boyfriend? God, in the end, it came around and I started dating a guy. The kid calls me. I take the kid and put him in and out of this pit. And finally, the boy said, crying, why are you treating me like this? I love you. He said, she hangs up the phone and she is crying too. Why am I doing this? She wonders. It's not something he does consciously. The lower brain is afraid. It thinks the same thing will happen again. In not unraveling ego release and other techniques, of course, we eliminate this assumption. He thinks that whatever happened in the past will happen the same way in the future.
No, such a thing will not happen. It doesn't have to.
But who needs to be convinced about this? The primitive brain needs to be convinced. Therefore, all our techniques are about somehow freeing the primitive brain from that, either convincing it or transforming it. Not solving is one of these.
This is life-saving.
Of course, they are life-saving.
A lifetime passes around a knot, teacher.
Don't ask. That's why now when I see someone like that, I look into their eyes, a couple of words, and I say, oh no. I say, this is...
He is very afraid of love. Relationships go like this and that. Sometimes I ask such things. You know,
even the people I say hello to are not my clients.
And you're also working, right? Oh, and I'm working.
For example, while passing by, he comes to the studio, he immediately looks at you in your eyes, works for 2 minutes. Oh, how beautiful. I really like it. So, teacher?
I'm probing, but I want to work and so on.
For example, you just worked with my friends, my team members, without being able to resist. And then he says, yeah, we'll call you in 20 days.
Exactly. But now if a person helps from the heart...
Does it return in kind? No.
It comes back in kind,
Be sure, because you know what's behind this? If you, the person in front of you, next to you, whoever you're with, if you see them as a part of yourself, you're already winning. Everything comes to you. Wealth comes, money comes, praise comes, love comes. Now, this gentleman we just talked about, I mentioned he carries his mother. He is standing right in front of us now.
He is also among us right now.
After that, it's related to a part of his problem. He says, Dhammo, loving my mother is bad. No, I'm talking about being dependent, like being attached. Some people say, well, we are very attached to each other as a family. Hi, I react like this. Oh no, we're in trouble. Because he wants to say, why are we dependent? There is no obsession in love.
Commitment is different.
We're already talking about being dependent. We as a family are very attached to each other. It doesn't say we love, respect, and support each other. It says we're dependent.
We are fond of it. We've fallen once.
So, it's not like we've fallen.
We have fallen onto these paths.
that's why I become like that for him. I can't help myself, let me put it that way, in terms of helping.
In the wonderful class.
Now listening to this and coming up to me saying, hello, teacher.
Hello, teacher. Can you untie my knot?
Let her not say it.
Come to the training, friends.